Hey, I'm Daryl, the engineer here at Mallett, and if you just saw the guy whiz past us, that's the construction worker that's working on our bathroom. So that's a very important item of work. So if you hear things or see things, just count it as extra, no cost. Okay. So today I'm going to be doing the same thing I've been doing lately, is going through some company CAM projects, but I wanted to start off by having a dead clicker. Why did that? There you go. So I got information about self-storage. This is people who rent storage. Now you say, why am I talking about that? Well, you don't need to rent storage, you need to buy storage from us, okay? But this was from Neighbor, the leading self-storage and parking marketplace in the United States. Never heard of Neighbor? Has researched and compiled the following U.S. self-storage statistics. Okay, and it gives these amazing numbers. It says that the industry revenue per year is $58.3 billion. And it says that 11% of the households in America rent self-storage space. And it says that there's 2.1 billion square feet of self-storage per person in America, for everybody in America. Now, if you take 2.1 billion square feet and you divide that by 347.3 million people that live in America, according to the internet, that's 6 square feet per person. So that means there's enough storage buildings in America to put everybody that lives in America. That's kind of amazing. And so it's a big deal. And you see these things in every major town, not just every major town, in every town in Louisiana, especially on the coast of Louisiana. You just see them everywhere. Where in all the Gulf Coast, from Houston all the way to Florida, you see storage places. And the reason that people rent storage, one of the reasons, is this quote from Benjamin Franklin, which is a place for everything and everything in its place. And this is from a website called the Socratic Method, from Socrates, Socratic Method. If you'd like to go and read into this, what this article says, because it says a lot more stuff than I'm going to say, but this quote encapsulates the importance of organization and order in our lives. Now, everybody's, obviously got this at different levels, but I think everybody would agree that we like order in our life. You notice that when we come here and have this, our live stream, we have this counter space right here, and it's empty. Why? Because we don't want clutter up here that's draw attention away from our important topics. And in the same way, it just clutter, just clutter. So, and really, that's what leads people to buy a Mallett building and for storage structure. Of course, the other reason that people buy Mallett building is because they're going to that's going to be their living space. It's going to be a barndo, and that continues to be a big thing, as we'll see today. And it's simply because wages have not kept up with the price of construction, and wages couldn't keep up with the cost price of construction. I'm not, you know, some people when they say that, it's a knock on the people paying your wages. And I'm not knocking the people paying the wages. I'm saying that it's just totally out of this world what it costs to buy the American dream these days. It's amazing. So, and I've said that lots of times. So anyway, so we want to look at some of these projects that are on Company Cam. And this first project, this is a barndo. I haven't spoken with any of these clients. Nobody told me any of these projects were a barndo, but this is a barndo. And I want you to look at this photo. I mean, this 3D image that we prepared at Mallett, and tell me why you know this is a barndo. Okay, I can hear people answering out there. Yes, there's no roll-up door. That means this is a house, right? And it's a nice looking house. So that's a 3D image, and this is a photo that one of our contractors took. The contractors are getting better at these pictures, and this is in a lovely part of the country, north of Jasper, Texas. The Sam Rayburn Lake is up there, and pine trees everywhere. Nice part of the country, and this is the double door there. I assume that's the entrance to the home, and there's the double door side view. There's that wonderful porch made with wood. Not going to get that from a metal building. And those exposed trusses look just fine. Look even better once they get the swing hung up and are swinging on the porch. Boy, I tell you, nothing better than swinging on the porch. And so that's the first project. So speaking of the part of the country, you know, we've gotten all this rain lately, and we haven't gotten rain like this in, I don't know exactly how long, but it's been a long time. So I have a little patch of woods behind my house, and it doesn't drain well. It's okay, it's woods. But crawfish, they tunnel from the woods into my backyard when it rains a lot. And overnight, I have crawfish huts, pods, construct buildings, whatever you want to call what those crawfish makes. I'm sure there's a technical term. But anyway, but that's how I know that it's rained a lot, because that happened this weekend. It hasn't happened in a long time. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Now this project, once we're going to do some investigation here. So what would the class say this building is going to be used for? I got an 18-foot wide roll-up door that's 14 feet high. RV. On Tyler's, quick as a whip. And there's a smaller roll-up door for the lawnmower, maybe. And if you look real closely, you'll see the house is right there. If you look really, really closely, you'll see that's a pool. This is a pool porch. That's a new term, okay? And there you see the pool porch, okay? And once everything gets built and everything is constructed, you see this bicycle right here? Guess where they're going to put that? They're going to put it in there. All this stuff's going to go in there. You know why? Because people like a place for everything and everything in its place. People like that. And so, very nice building here. Nice trim, the wainscot, and it's going to fit in really nice. There's another view. So that's that one. Now, this building, you know, if we could find some more Millers that would do what this guy did, Mr. Lee Mallett would be a happy man. He bought 2 buildings, okay? And so this is the first one. He built, this is a 30 by 30 by 30 garage or shop. Now, you know, I've talked about that before. You know, 30 by 30 is something you need. Stay tuned for this commercial message as the construction worker, y'all didn't see that, goes through. 30 by 30 is really just about a minimum size for a garage. You say, well, Darryl, I have a house and I have a 24 by 24 garage. Yes, that's true. And how many cars can you fit in that garage? I would say 1, because you got to have something in there. And that's just the average size of almost every garage in America. A double car garage is 24 by 24. That's not big enough for 2 cars, really. But anyway, this guy's, Mr. Miller, he has his 30 by 30 shop / garage. And then he has, he has a 30 by 50 house with a 20-foot porch. That's a heck of a porch. And here's that barndo. This is the 3D drawing that we prepare. And then this is the photo. Once again, our contractor took a great photo. Now, you know, whenever I first saw these colors, what'd you think of that, Tyler? It's kind of, wow. I said, wow, you know, but I don't know if I would, I liked it. But when, and I'm sure no one in my listening audience is ever going to call and ask me about colors, you know. My wife asked me things like, does this shirt match this? And I'm like, really, me? And so, but anyway, but when you see it, it's really neat looking. And it matches the sugar cane growing all around him really nicely. And that's, I like that. I like that photo because, and I don't know if, let me see. Yes, this is the road that this house is going to be built on, and this road with houses has got sugar cane growing on both sides of it. It's a neat place. And so anyway, that's that project. And once again, you know, just think about, I'm not here to talk money specifically. But when he's finished, he's going to have his little piece of American dream, okay? Where he can drive in, or maybe, I don't know, maybe that might be a drive, a covered parking area instead of a porch, but I don't know. But he's going to have his house and his shop for a fraction of the cost that this would cost if a residential builder would be building this from scratch. And that's what it's all about. It's all about improving your life and getting a piece of that American dream. That's what it's all about. And that's why we're so successful. That's why we build so many buildings, because the people in our area are smart, hard-working people that want the best bang for their buck, and they want a place for everything in its place. So that's our talk for today. That's the 3 buildings that we looked at today. Let's see what we looked at. We looked at a house and a shop. We looked at a pool area / RV / garage. And we looked at a barndo. So that's the 3 buildings for today. I'll see y'all next week. It'll be on Tuesday instead of Monday because I'm going out of town. And but y'all have a good week. Stay dry. Go fishing. See you later.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Darrell. That was a fun topic for today. Lots of cool little knowledge nuggets, as I like to call them. Let's continue moving forward. Let's get through his presentation. Perfect. So that was Mr. Darrell's portion for today. Again, be sure to check him out next week on Tuesday. So we're going to have some days flopped around next week. But again, great topic for today. Now, moving right along, we have another record week on the Where's Mallett board. We have 132 different jobs going on this week, and this makes me so happy, you guys. We're everywhere from almost to the Waco area this time, and all the way over. We're in Arkansas. We have 1, we have 3 in Mississippi, and we have 102 in Louisiana and 26 in Texas. That is Where's Mallett. Look at all these different dots, you guys. Now, you're probably wondering something I used to wonder. Why do all these little markers, why is there not 132 markers on here? Because there's multiple phases of different jobs going on in the same city. So here, let's say in Shreveport, we could be forming and doing concrete in the same week. We could be doing the same in multiple areas. So though the dots do not reflect 132 dots, different jobs are going on in the same city. So that is the answer. There's different customers who live in different cities. We didn't want to put their information, so we definitely just put the city in general. So that explains that. But moving along, look at all these different cities going on, you guys. Again, 102 different jobs in Louisiana alone just this week. A lot of companies don't have 102 jobs the entire year, but here we are in 1 week knocking these out. We have plenty of buildings being delivered, even more with materials on the ground, ready to get started. As Mr. Darrell said, we have had a record amount of rain this week and last week, so that is going to be putting a few of these jobs off as well. But even with all that, we have buildings in construction that are being erected this week, inspections going on in Gonzales and Rain. We have forming happening. We have plumbing in Doosan and New Iberia. And we have a lot of concrete happening, you guys. This is an insane, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 different locations getting concrete just this week, and that's only Louisiana. That means 18 buildings are probably gonna be completed unless they have electrical, HVAC, gutters, or control joints, which, as you can see, we have a bunch this week as well. And once the gutters and control joints are in, you guys, that's the end of the project if they chose to get this. Now, a lot of times concrete will be the final step, but if they have an elite building or they have an electrical package or an HVAC package, you're gonna be getting these gutters and control joints if you chose, electrical, HVAC again if chosen, so that's gonna be the end of your building. So we have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52 buildings going to be completed this week, weather permitting. So love seeing that on the board, guys. That is a building a week done in 1 week. So logistical nightmare for most people, but we've got it down to a science. And as you can tell, it's only getting busier. Now moving along to Texas, we have 26 different jobs going on. Again, multiple jobs in the same cities. You'll see that here soon. But again, for example, forming and concrete both happening in Alvin this week. And you're getting the picture there. But we have delivery, buildings in construction, forming and alving, plumbing, concrete, gutters, control joints, electrical, HVAC, and Warren, and red tags, guys. 26 jobs going on in Texas and booking them right along. So where's Mallett? On to why Mallett, our favorite portion, because it's just a fun time comparing these. But let's talk about this, the Rival Series. This is a perfect code compliant budget building. And what I mean by that is it is good enough to pass the code, but you're not going to get all the extra bells and whistles of a Mallett building. But this is to keep it in a good budget range. You start adding the bells and whistles, it may be out of some people's budget, and we understand that, which is where the idea for the Rival Series came. Give them a building on a budget. Now, what comes in this budget building? 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 common flat trusses. As we start to go down this list, you're going to see this is looking a lot like what a lot of the competitors are building. A lot of other builders in our area, this is what they're going to be building with. Now, the 2x6 common flat trusses, that's probably the best most of them can do. They don't have a truss plant. So what you're going to see from a lot of other builders is 2x6. Now, the Classic has 2x6, but it's in our signature cathedral truss. Everything at Mallett is going to be cathedral truss, and we'll get into that here soon. But these buildings are going to be 130 mile an hour wind rated. They're not going to have the cable lock system. They're not going to have the post pads. They're going to have 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, not going to have the skirt board guards, a 2-year limited warranty, and number 2 untreated generic lumber. All of this works together to give you a building that's going to be code compliant. Don't get me wrong, it is a good building, but it's not a Mallett building. And what makes a Mallett building is going to start off with our Classic. This is going to be our entry-level building. This is the first tier of Mallett standard buildings. And just look how much our entry-level building far exceeds the industry standard. 26 gauge metal, excuse me. It's going to be thicker, more durable, longer lasting, less prone to a lot of the issues you're going to see with thinner metal because it is just a better metal. You're going to have a 5-on-12 roof pitch. It's going to be a steeper pitch. You're going to be getting an extra foot vertical for every foot you go, and that's just going to give you that much more of a pitch in your roof, obviously, but it's going to allow for better runoff of both water and debris, such as pine needles and things of that nature. So you're going to have less chance of clogging it at your screw contact points, as well as leaks in your roof, and just a longer lasting roof because there's less stuff just resting on it. You're also going to have, again, the 2x6 cathedral trusses, cathedral truss, or scissor truss that's commonly known as the standard here at Mallett. And every truss is going to be third-party inspected. Every portion of our truss plant is inspected on a regular basis to ensure we're not only meeting the regular industry standards, but also the standards we set for ourselves here at Mallett. We do great on those inspections, I might add. Now we're going to start off with a 140 mile an hour building in our Malletts here, so we're already 10 miles above industry standard, which is going to be around the 130 mark, but we're going to have a 140 mile an hour wind rating on our buildings. The Mallett cable lock system, our favorite feature here for the following reason. This is the main factor in why we have never lost a building to a hurricane in our 27 years in business and over 20,000 buildings on the ground, you guys. If you need examples, there's Darla Cays in Cameron. There's also a pavilion we recently did before the hurricane in Cameron. We recently did an interview with that customer, and he spoke so highly about his product. He said the only damage he had was from someone else's building that flew and dinged the corner of his metal, but he had a pavilion a mile off the coast of the Gulf, and it survived both Hurricane Laura and whatever the one after that was, but it survived both hurricanes with around 152 mile an hour recorded winds just from the nautical station about 1.5 miles down the road. Excuse me, and I'm sorry. But that being said, that speaks to the testament of what goes into the cable lock system. Now, what is the cable lock system? The cable lock system is going to be a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cable that is woven throughout the entire base of the building, connected post to post by eye bolts that are at the base of the building as well. On top of all these cables, you're gonna have your concrete that's gonna be poured. So once the forming is done, it's gonna be taken into consideration around the cables, but on top of that, you're gonna have the concrete. So once it hardens, it's gonna harden with those cables inside of it. Some people are gonna use rebar, a lot of people use that mesh. The mesh has nothing to do with the rigidity or the uplift control. However, a lot of people are gonna put the little bits of rebar going from the post to the concrete. That's okay. I had a building I used to live in Grand Lake, which is in Cameron Parish, which is right off the Gulf as well. And we lost our shop. We had a pretty large shop that was held in with that rebar as well, and it was no longer there after Laura. So it did not do as well as that pavilion I was just talking about, or Darla K's, or any of our other buildings. I wish it would have been a Mallett building at this point. We lost a lot in that storm. That being said, the cable lock system is the answer to that wish, and in any building you get that's a Mallett building, the cable lock system comes standard. Now we're also gonna put concrete under every post. That's gonna be a post pad, which is an 80-pound bag of concrete poured into every post hole. And so those 6x6 posts are gonna sit on top of that hardened concrete pad. So all of the weight of a building in post frame construction, as you probably know, is on the post. The slab is what's called a floating slab. There's no load bearing on the slab itself. This also goes into the cable lock system. That weight of the slab pushes down on those cables and holds that building down. So if wind rushes in a hurricane and wants to get out and escape, it's gonna go up and try and get out, creating a parachute out of your building and pulling that building out the ground. That's how we lost ours. Now, the cables prevent that because the weight of that concrete goes on there. And speaking of the concrete, back to the post pads, those posts are gonna be sitting on that concrete as opposed to in the dirt or gravel. And when it's in the dirt or gravel, like a lot of people do it, first and foremost, your posts are gonna be direct contact with the ground, which is no bueno. That's not good. That's gonna be, good contact is good for rot, termites, and bad things for your post. Now, if it's on the concrete, you're gonna have a solid foundation to prevent settling, unwanted settling, weird settling, shifting, sinking, all those things that make your building wonky and messed up. This post pad's gonna prevent that. And to talk about the decay of the wood on the concrete, the ground, every piece of wood in a Mallett building is gonna be #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. #1 being the best wood you could possibly buy. MCA ground treated, meaning it's gonna be treated for the ground, all the chemicals in the ground. It's going to be good on ground contact. It's going to be treated for wood destroying insects like termites and beetles and other things, as well as all weather elements. And that's everything from the posts in the ground to the trusses in the air, the girts, the purlins, everything is going to fall into this #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. The kiln drying is going to pull all the excess moisture out of that wood in a controlled environment. So when it's out in the elements in your building getting hot during the day, it's not going to dry, shrink, crack, break, be brittle, all of that. It's going to be a preconditioned piece of wood that's ready to go for the environment. So your screws aren't going to back out, the wood won't splinter. All those things that happen when wood dries on its own will be prevented because it's dried in a controlled environment. Now, we're gonna have 2x12 headers, so you're gonna have some beefy headers holding up everything. It's gonna be a great piece of equipment there. You're gonna have 4-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete, and the Elite you get 6-inch. You're gonna have skirt board guards for ground protection. That's gonna be an extra piece of wood that's wrapped and put at the base of the building for ground protection. It's gonna provide a little bit of extra barrier there. It's very interesting. We have a video about that online as well. If you have any questions, I'll refer you to that video. It's a great example. 4-year workmanship warranty comes with the Classic all the way up to a 10-year on the Elite. So that is a wonderful warranty. We talked about the lumber, in-house engineering. You just saw Mr. Darrell not long ago. He is our engineer, and he and his team oversee everything. As he famously said, it's not enough to just design a wonderful building. The building has to be able to be built and function as designed as well. That is his role. He makes sure everything is not only built right, but it's engineered right, and when in practice, it operates right. So we love him for that, and we appreciate all of that. But that is what you get with a Mallett building, guys. And again, this is simply our entry-level building, and you see how it far surpasses the rival series and most other buildings, but we still have 2 more tiers. So if you're interested, give us a call at 337-214-0428 or visit us online at mallettbuildings.com. We'd be glad to get started on the process with you. And when you are looking at getting a building, we want to let you know every single day you could get $500 off your Mallett building simply for doing what you do if you fall into one of these categories. Healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, teacher, and educators, you are all heroes in our eyes. So we want to make sure you get a little assistance when purchasing your building. So $500 off every day, no matter what, if that is you or anyone purchasing the building's occupation. Now you can also comment cash, and that's going to give you $1,000 off your elite or signature building if you're choosing to upgrade or this is your first building. This makes it a little easier on you to get those top tier buildings. They're worth it, they're worth it, they're worth the price, they're worth the wait, they're worth everything involved. These are the best buildings in the business. And this is going to get you $1,000 off. Now, this does not apply to specials or promotions. However, $1,000 simply for commenting cash. That's C-A-S-H, you guys. It's like $250 a letter. So there's no point in not doing it. Even if you don't know if you're going to buy a building, or from us, commenting cash, if that decision does come to be you going with Mallett Buildings, you're going to get $1,000 off your building. So April, good lordy. April specials and promotions. So the Cajun Oasis is here to stay, so we did a nice revamp on this, and you may have seen it online, but let's go ahead and talk about this, you guys. So much to see here. 30 by 50 by 12 on our Cajun Oasis Classic. It's going to be $49,999. Now, that price includes insulation to keep it cool in the summer and warm in the winter. You're going to have a full climate control package that's both heated and cool, so year-round comfort there as well. A full electrical package, you guys, so all you have to do is hook up your utilities and it's ready to go. You're going to get overhead lights, switches, plugs, all that good stuff, so you're ready to go. It's going to be the 5-ton unit. It's going to be powering your heating and cooling, and you're going to get 4-inch 4,000 PSI concrete, as with all classic buildings. Now, this can be good for a workshop, a man cave, a home gym, storage, endless possibilities, you guys. Whatever you may want to use this for, the option is yours. It's 1,500 square foot of awesomeness. You get a $16,000 value simply with the electrical package and the 5-ton unit. You could even ask about spray foam for going the extra mile and getting extra insulation. Now again, insulated, climate controlled, electricity, the 5-ton unit. It's durable and built to last, and you can customize it to you guys. These aren't the only Cajun Oasis sizes. We can make any building a Cajun Oasis, but these are the specials and these are the most popular sizes, so be sure to check those out. Now, we also have the Cajun Oasis Elite. This is our top tier building, the best of the best, and you can get this 30 by 50 by 12 for $59,999. Now again, it's going to be engineered specifically for you, your property, your area, wherever you are, making sure it meets your codes and exceeds those standards. You're going to get full insulation on the walls, roof, and ceiling for maximum comfort. Again, the climate control and electrical package, $16,000 value there. You're going to get two 36-inch walk-through doors, two windows, 12 by 12 roll-up doors, the 5-ton unit. Again, it's good for workshop, man cave, home gym, storage, whatever you may want. The Oasis is here, heated or cooled all year round, ready to rock and roll. As soon as we're done, just hook your utilities up, turn the lights on, get the AC going. You got a comfortable little shop. Now, the 5 red flags, these are so important because when you're doing your research, as you should, when you're doing your due diligence, when you're doing a background check essentially on any builder you may be wanting to do business with, there's a few hurdles you're going to have to jump over. Let's talk about those. Hurdle number 1, or red flag number 1, years in business. You want to check how long they've been around on the Secretary of State website. And rule of thumb, if they don't show up here, that's the end of your search right there, because they are not a licensed business. It doesn't matter how long they've been doing business, it hasn't been legal, and they're not actually a business, so make sure they show up on your Secretary of State website. Now, speaking of licenses, we want to see that they have contractor's license. Here in Louisiana, that's a requirement. It's a big rule, and it's something that gets people in trouble all the time, but you can check the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, the LSLBC, and you can check all their license, whether it be residential, commercial, whatever it may be, or that you need. Be sure they are able to take care of that as well, because operating without the proper licensure will lead you to red flag number 3, which is contractor violations. You can also check this out at the LSLBC website. This is when they've broken the law, been reported, got caught, whatever it may be, but they broke the law. And this is going to wind them up with a contractor violation, which is a big red flag, because if they'll break the law once, chances are they'll do it again. And if you want to roll the dice on taking those odds, that's up to you, but we suggest otherwise. Now here at Mallett, in our 27 years in business, we have 0 contractor violations ever. So make sure you find a company who can also say that, because you're not really comparing apples to apples on the company if they have violations, because there's someone who doesn't, and that's us. Moving on to red flag number 4, we're going to talk about the reviews on the BBB and Google. So the last 3 flags have been essentially legal repercussions, legal things to look out for, which is very important. But something that's also important is going to be the public's opinion and the public reviews. This is a personal customer section of the red flags, and we want you to check out reviews. Not just for us, but for the other guys too. Whoever you're looking at, and this applies to everything, not just buildings, you guys. We know if you're looking on Amazon, or if you still shop eBay, you're checking reviews, making sure it's a reputable seller, making sure the person you're getting items from produce good quality product. And the people don't have issues. How's the return process? How's the warranty? How's this? How's that? You're gonna look at reviews, you're gonna look at comments, you're gonna look at what the public has to say, how their buildings came out, how their product came out, whatever it may be. This should be no different. Now, I want to direct your attention here because we are A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. And between the BBB and Google, we have over 700 reviews, you guys. I can't stress that enough. That's such a cool number. With over 20,000 buildings, 700 reviews, the social proof is there. Now, there of course are some negative reviews here and there, as everyone. However, over 98% of our reviews are positive 5-star reviews. We are incredibly proud of that. We are incredibly thankful for everyone who took time out of their day to leave a review like that, and we just want to say thank you. But when you're looking around, be sure to check these reviews and make sure it's someone you'd be willing to do business with, because the public's opinion can say a lot. That could be your experience too. Now, I also want to say here, we have ambassadors who are willing to share their experience. If you're in the market for a building and want to hear a true customer story, they're going to be honest. I've heard some of the conversations and I'm like, I wish you wouldn't have said that, but it was the honest truth. And it always ended with them being, this is my experience, this is my building, I hope you have a great experience, I know I did. And we love hearing that. And if you want to have that conversation with a former customer, you just let us know. We'll set you up with somebody in your area. You can have that call. If some of them are even open to showing you their building. So if you want to see a completed Mallett building, let us know about that as well. But finally, red flag number 5, visit the contractor's facility. This one is so important because first off, most people don't have a facility of their own. That being said, we have a phenomenal facility here at Mallett. It is absolutely huge. It has everything from our packing and loading area to the shipping department. It has the roll form plant coming around. We're gonna be doing our own metal here soon. We have the gutters operation here where we make gutters. And famously, we have our truss plant where we make all of our scissor trusses here in-house. So if you want to see every part of the process from start to finish, see how your building is made before it's brought to your property and constructed there, I highly recommend come and check it out. It's a 15-20 minute tour overall. Very, very fascinating to see all that goes into the prep work before the construction even begins. So I highly recommend checking that out. But also you can come shake some hands. You can meet the building specialist, meet Mr. Mallett. You can see the builders who are going to be putting your building together. You can see everything, talk to scheduling, see who you're going to be talking with the majority of the process. I just highly recommend come and check out the facility. It is an absolute great time. So again, back to our ambassadors. If you are someone who has purchased a building in the past, that's the one requirement it takes to be an ambassador. Again, we want the honest truth from you. So whether your experience was phenomenal, through the moon, or god awful, we want to know about it. But if you want to be an ambassador, you just let us know. Have to have a building because you got to be willing to talk about your experience and your building. But the ambassadors have tons of opportunities to earn a lot more referral checks than the average person. So as you know, here at Mallett Buildings, if you refer us a customer and they purchase a building, you can receive a referral check. The ambassadors are sent people as well because we connect people in their area. So if you get sent someone in your area and you help them get them to buy it, or help get them to the point they're comfortable buying a building, you're gonna earn some extra referral money as well. So if that sounds interesting, comment ambassador. And if you're looking to talk to an ambassador, please comment connect, and we'll put you in touch with the ambassador in your area. But that's gonna be our show for today. I'm Tyler. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate the time you give us. If you enjoyed anything in this video, please be sure to give us a like, heart, whatever you feel like, and share the video with a friend or someone who might be in the market for a building as well. If they come our way, you too could get a referral check, so put money in your pocket simply for sharing this video. Also, if you're in the market for a building, be sure to give us a call at 337-214-0428 or visit us online at mallettbuildings.com. Save this video for later so you can keep it in your back pocket for all the information, and be sure to follow us so you never miss a video and you're always up to date on what's happening in the post-frame world. Again, I'm Tyler. This is the Mallett Stream. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.